Hello, welcome to another Glass with Billy. This is maybe the first time I've done a Glass with Billy with actual glasses. Okay, there you go.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. It tastes like water.
It's actually vodka, but watered down.
Really watered down.
That's right.
Homeopathic vodka. And I'm actually here in the US, we're in California, and I'm joined by my friend Johnson of SpongeMind. I'll put a link to the SpongeMind podcast in the description below. The topic we're going to be talking about today is because of something that you said to me recently. You mentioned that in the community here, many people speak English at various levels.
So this is a city called Irvine. A lot of Korean people.
Yeah, right next to LA.
We have Korean churches here. We have Korean banks. We have lots and lots and lots of Korean restaurants. So practically you don't have to speak English to live here. When I meet a lot of friends from Korea, I'm talking about Korean immigrants. Their English proficiency level varies in a dramatic way. Right? Some people speak excellent English. Some people barely speak anything after living here for, I don't know, decade, 2 decades.
So then what kinds of things would this be due to?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the exposure. So let's say someone who just came from Korea, starting to go to Korean church, and let's say they're on a sandwich shop, because a lot of Korean immigrants are entrepreneurs. They run their own business too. All they have to say in English is like, okay, that's $5.99, and would you like
Wait,
to...
where did the sandwich? You said $5.99?
I don't know.
Where is that? Sounds like a great deal.
$15.99.
$15.99. Okay, now we're talking California again. Continue.
So I guess they don't have to speak a whole lot of English.
What do you think about studying? Do you think some of them have different abilities because they do or do not study?
So I thought a lot about that too, because I don't think I studied English after I came to the United States. I just got exposed because I watched a lot of American TV shows.
What was your favorite show?
Jerry Springer.
No.
Do you know that show?
Oh, I wish I didn't.
So a lot of interviews too with the famous actors, actresses, with politicians. Those interviews really help too.
So you had an interest in actually being good at English or understanding English.
You know what was really funny about that was I never had the desire to improve my English. I was just sucked into the TV shows. That was it, just the content, the stories, the people. I guess I was more interested in the person in front of me versus the language itself. I just liked speaking a foreign language. I think that's what it was.
Is it only exposure that's affecting their language skills, or is there more to it than that?
I would say their desire to get better definitely helps.
You
I didn't have the
just said
desire.
you didn't really care about that.
Right, but I guess deep down I did have the desire. I guess there's a difference between desire to understand something now versus your desire to get better in a few years. Because I'm learning German right now, so I'm watching a German TV show. Oh, I don't understand anything, maybe 10%, 5%. Instead of having that kind of desire to understand it now, I tell myself, I don't really care, but I do care about seeing myself speaking better German in 10 years.
So let's pretend that we are in Korea now. And if someone comes here who's from, let's say, the US, and they want to learn Korean, how can that person make sure that they're going to actually get good at the language and not just end up getting by?
Right.
Just like you can live in a Korean
There are
community.
so many non-Koreans who live in Korea who are like that. They get almost zero exposure to the Korean language and they just hang out with non-Korean friends speaking English or whatever language they speak. I guess the first thing they have to do, they must do, is to realize your language proficiency in Korean is a function of only one thing: number of seconds. Number of seconds of whatever. Seconds, not hours, not years.
Seconds.
A lot of people talk about language proficiency in terms of number of years, right? Oh, so you're so good at Korean. How many years have you been learning it? But those are irrelevant questions because that person might be spending 8 hours a day studying Korean, watching Korean TV shows, hanging out with Korean friends. But if you sit down and study Korean for 1 hour and start paying attention to whatever that's going on in your mind, a lot of times you're not studying Korean, although you have...
Don't call me out.
It's a matter of number of moments when you focus on whatever you're doing, whether it's listening to a Korean podcast or practicing. I guess practice is something else because when you speak Korean, you have to concentrate.
So
right?
it would be like, if you're practicing, then theoretically it would be almost the entire time.
Sure. I guess another thing that I want to emphasize is that input trumps output. no one learns much from themselves. When you speak, you can only use whatever words you have learned in the past. Let's say you spend about an hour a day. That's all you can make. And I don't know, 50 minutes listening, reading, all these things, watching TV show, and 10 minutes speaking or writing. That's fine. I guess one piece of advice I want to give to Korean learners is that don't try to make everything perfect. At the beginning, you just learn as many words as you can. You just learn as many sentence forms as you can. But don't expect yourself to be perfectly refined. If you spend, I don't know, 10 minutes on a single sentence, you can be 100%.
And meanwhile, the person you're talking with has already left
Right,
and ate lunch.
If you cannot memorize something right now, don't worry too much about it. And if you cannot say something right now, oh, I should be able to say this, I learned this, don't worry too much about it. Once you heard it 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, it will just come out of your mouth naturally without you trying.
Especially if it's something that you're actually encountering in a real situation.
Sure.
Instead of just, looking at a random sentence in your vocabulary deck. Once you see someone use it or you read it in an actual situation,
right,
and you do that a bunch of times, then it kind of makes sense. Also, I would add, these days, you don't even need a TV. So I prefer YouTube, and it's fun because now I get to learn about something I want to learn anyway, and it doesn't feel like I'm studying. I feel like even if I was bored and tired, this is the video I would want to watch anyway. Twitch is also useful for that. If you like watching Twitch streamers, then find someone who does something that you enjoy watching. My kid really likes some kids story podcasts.
Oh, it's cute.
Like fairy tales. So we listen to those whenever we're in the car.
By the way, the text messages from your Korean friends or acquaintances, they provide you really good context too.
What about people who don't have Korean friends to practice with?
Oh, geez. You can call me 949.
Any tips then for finding Korean friends?
I guess a lot of Koreans are interested in learning English. There should be a lot of Korean people who are interested in meeting you, but they might show up for a selfish reason. Obviously, I want to improve my English.
Right.
I mean, in my case, language exchange is the perfect way to make a friend because the other person is also learning your language too. So the awkwardness goes down significantly. And then this self-conscious, which is a big obstacle to learning any language, it goes down significantly too on both sides.
Where would you find that?
Not groups, but one-on-one language exchange.
Okay.
A lot of them just found me on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. But
I'll put his address here.
That's right.
So we've talked about several things then today about what can affect your language proficiency. Of these things, or maybe something we didn't mention, what do you think is the biggest factor that can influence your skill in Korean or just in a foreign language? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Again, special thanks to our guest, Johnson. I'll link to his Sponge Mind podcast in the description below, and we will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.
다음에 또 봐.